Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you.
Have you ever had the feeling that your life is stuck on repeat? The same patterns returning, the same emotions resurfacing, the same heavy energy showing up no matter how much you try to change what's around you. You change jobs, you change relationships, you change cities, and after a while, you notice something followed you. Because what was heavy wasn't in the place, it was in you. The truth nobody likes to hear is that energy doesn't shift because of what happens around you. It shifts because of what happens within you. And the most unsettling part of that truth isn't that it exists. It's that the things capable of permanently changing your frequency are so simple that most people walk past them every day without noticing. So ordinary that the ego dismisses them before considering. So quiet that they get lost in the noise of everything that seems more urgent. This video isn't going to give you a list of habits to follow. It's not about discipline. It's not about productivity. It's not about optimization. It's about something far more fundamental. The way you're spending the only thing nobody can give back to you, your attention. And what happens when you begin spending that attention differently? Not all at once, not with heroic effort, but with awareness, with small choices that seem not to matter, and that, accumulated over time, quietly rearrange everything. Because there's a version of you that isn't chasing balance. That became the balance. That isn't trying to shift the frequency of life, because their own frequency already shifted. And the path between where you are now and that version isn't a leap. It's a series of choices so simple, they're almost going to feel suspicious. Stay, because what comes next might be the most ordinary and most transformative thing you hear today. Walking. It's almost ridiculous to say out loud, isn't it? In a world obsessed with biohacking, supplements, 5 a.m. routines, and optimization protocols? The idea that walking could change anything real seems naive. And that's exactly why it works. Because the ego dismisses the ordinary. And the ordinary stays available while the ego goes chasing something more impressive. Movement is medicine, not just for the body, for the mind, for the energy, for creativity. When you walk, your nervous system receives a simple and profound signal. We are still moving. We are still going forward. No matter how stagnant life might seem, the feet are moving, and something in that message, repeated step by step, begins to dislodge what was stuck. Ideas surface. Your mood shifts without you having done anything to shift the mood. The mind untangles itself in ways that no conscious effort can force. You begin to feel lighter, not just physically, spiritually too. And then there's silence, which most people avoid with an almost professional dedication. Music in the shower, podcast on the way to work, television in the background while doing something else. Not because they need the content, but because silence is uncomfortable. Because being alone with your own thoughts would reveal something they're not yet ready to see. And so noise becomes a very sophisticated form of escape. One that feels productive, informed, culturally engaged, while it's really just avoiding the moment you would have to listen to yourself. Silence is not empty. It's where the answers live. The first few times will feel strange, maybe even boring. But when you get used to the stillness, it becomes something different. You begin to notice the sound of your own footsteps, the wind against your face, the natural rhythm of life unfolding without interference. That is energy shifting. That is awareness deepening, not dramatically, quietly and permanently. And then there's something that seems outdated but is one of the most powerful gestures available to anyone with access to a pen and a piece of paper. Writing by hand, not typing, writing. When you put a thought on paper with your hand, you are translating invisible energy into physical form, giving body to something that before existed only as fog. Goals stop being ideas and become commitments, and something strange happens in that process. The words begin to rearrange the reality around them, not through magic, through clarity, because the subconscious, which was working against you without you knowing, finally receives precise instructions about what you actually want and begins working with you, walking, silence, writing. These aren't random habits, they are recalibration rituals. They return you to your natural frequency, the one buried under years of noise, distraction, and rush. When you begin practicing them consistently, your energy starts moving differently. More centered, more focused, more alive. You stop chasing balance. You become it. There's a moment some people reach, and when they reach it, everything changes. When they realize that time isn't something you have, it's something you spend. Every hour traded for distraction or worry isn't just a lost hour. It's an exchange of energy. And once that clicks, you stop seeing your schedule as a list of tasks and start seeing it as a reflection of your inner state. The way you use your time mirrors the way your energy flows. Spend it scattered, and you'll feel drained regardless of how many hours you slept. Spend it with intention, and life begins to respond differently. Not because the world changed, but because you changed what you're transmitting. Attention is the most expensive currency you own, and most people distribute that currency freely to everything and everyone who asks, without questioning the cost. There's a subtler level to this that most people completely ignore. You have energy peaks at specific moments of the day, and ignoring those peaks, doing deep work when you're in the valley, trying to rest when you're at the peak, is like swimming against your own internal current. Learning when your energy naturally rises is one of the quietest and most powerful life upgrades that exist. Because when you align work, rest, and movement with your body's own rhythm, you get more done with less effort. Not through greater discipline, through alignment. And here's a question that shifts the perspective of anyone willing to take it seriously. If your day were worth $1,000, would you still spend it the way you're spending it now? Would you give your best hours to what you're giving them to right now? When you begin seeing each block of time with that kind of value, small moments, the morning walk, the 5 minutes of silence, the pause to write, stop feeling trivial. They start feeling sacred. Because they are. They are the moments where you decide what kind of energy will inhabit the rest of the day. But there's a layer of this that goes beyond productivity and that almost nobody mentions. Gratitude for the time you already have. Most people are chasing more hours while wasting the ones they have, wishing this moment were different. And one day, you would give anything to relive this exact second. The sound of a child laughing, the hum of the city outside your window, even the people who occasionally drive you crazy. These are the raw materials of a meaningful life, and they're fleeting. Gratitude expands energy. It multiplies what you have. When you start cherishing what's here, time stops feeling like it's slipping away. It starts feeling like it's opening up. Here's a truth that quietly separates those who evolve from those who stay stuck. If you want a life that feels extraordinary, you can't live like everyone else. Most people follow the path that was laid out for them without questioning where it goes. Study, work, buy, repeat. They let the current of society carry them without ever asking the destination. And when you decide to step out of that current, not out of rebellion, not to prove anything, something shifts inside. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. It will be uncomfortable at first. People around you will call it unrealistic or strange. But freedom has always belonged to those willing to look foolish in the beginning. Living opposite the crowd isn't isolation, it's clarity. It's recognizing that the mainstream glorifies consumption, distraction, and comfort while disguising them as happiness. And that real energy, the kind that fills life with vitality and depth, comes from subtraction, not addition. Every time you choose differently, eating well when others indulge, investing when others spend, reading when others scroll, you send a signal, not to the universe in some abstract way, to yourself in a very concrete way. The signal that you are willing to prioritize who you're becoming over who it's convenient to be right now. And that signal, repeated, shifts the frequency you resonate at. You begin attracting people and experiences that match the higher standard you're creating. And then there's curiosity, which is the spark that keeps the soul from going dim, the quiet pull that makes you ask what else is possible. Without it, life turns dull, repetitive, mechanical. You've probably seen it happen to someone. People stop questioning, stop exploring, stop dreaming. They get comfortable. And comfort slowly turns into confinement. Protecting curiosity is protecting your own vitality. Because every time you choose to explore something new instead of repeating what you already know, you're moving toward growth instead of contracting around the familiar. Curiosity is sacred rebellion. It's how you escape the hypnosis of a predictable life. It's what keeps your inner world alive and electric. But curiosity can't survive in toxic soil. You can't stay curious if your environment is constantly draining you. If you're surrounded by people who mock your interests, a job that kills your imagination, or spaces that feel lifeless, the spark starts to fade. So protect it. Be ruthless about what and who gets access to your attention. You don't have to cut everyone off. Just create distance between your energy and anything that dulls your sense of wonder. Because when your energy changes, you don't just change your own life. You become a quiet invitation for others to do the same. Not through words, through who you have become. Energy doesn't shift overnight. It shifts quietly, through choices that seem too simple to matter. Walking more, being still, writing, sleeping deeply, speaking honestly, protecting what makes you feel alive. These aren't just habits. They are sacred acts of self-respect. They are how you signal to yourself, before anyone else, that your life deserves to be honored. You don't have to reinvent your life. You just have to start honoring it. When you move with intention, something meets you halfway. When you stop rushing, life stops running from you. And when your frequency shifts, not the circumstances, not the people around you, but yours, everything else begins to follow. Peace, clarity, abundance, not as distant rewards, as natural consequences of a frequency that has finally aligned with what you truly are. Retirement isn't an age, it's a vibration, a life that already feels like freedom now, not later. And the path to it isn't a heroic leap, it's a walk, literal or metaphorical, but always with presence, always with awareness, always with the willingness to choose differently than the autopilot would choose. Your new frequency is already waiting. You just need to start moving toward it. One step, one silence, one line written by hand, and then one more.